We made it to week 4 of the NFL season. Each week I'm picking the brains of sports anchors and experts all over the country to see who they pick to win the week's hottest matchups. Today we're in the NFC North, so I got to bring in WCCO4 sports anchor and Minnesota Vikings expert Norman Seawright. How's it going, Norman?
Not too bad, Katie. How about yourself?
Hey, it's going really well. Great to chat with you again, by the way. We're going to talk a little bit about the Vikings here in just a minute, but first I want to hear your pick for the Saints-Lions matchup.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints. Expect a shootout, though, because Alvin Kamara, enough said with that. The man's having some fun, and if the Saints are interested at all in exploring the Lions' weak run defense, he and Latavius Murray will feast on them. And it's a big positive for Drew Brees because for all the talk of him being washed or weak arm or whatever it is, it'll take a lot of pressure off of them. And if Michael Thomas comes back, they can spread the offensive game a little more, and that's even more fun. And Brees hasn't obviously thrown anything very long this season. He may not have to, but all the team needs to do is to stay sharp in their defensive secondary because they've given up a lot of penalties. They lead the league right now with 9 defensive pass interference calls. But back to Kamara, he leads the league in yards, touchdowns among non-quarterbacks, yards after catch, running back, receiving yards. So, yeah, they're going to game plan for him a lot. So they'll want to keep their defensive secondary aggressive when it comes to stopping the yards after catch because, again, Kamara, very dangerous.
And the hometown team up there in Twin Cities is heading south to face the Texans this week. Who's going to win that matchup?
I suppose say the Vikings, but I'm not perfectly sure about that. The team had its prep week obviously disrupted by the COVID-19 safety protocols, which is a good thing. It's good in that they've been successful in implementing those and keeping their players safe. The Vikings do love to run. Teams know they love to run, but you can't do that without passing effectively. And the Vikings have not yet settled on that this season. They haven't quite gotten there with the consistency. We saw some flashes against the Titans with Justin Jefferson. What an amazing catch he had. So if they're able to rush the Vikings, they got to open that passing game up so they can get that running game to happen. Once they get both of those things running in sync and get that, again, the consistency is the problem. If they're able to pull that off, they'll be fine. Houston has the advantage that the Vikings have serious trouble with pass protection. Kirk Cousins has been pressured a lot, which isn't necessarily his fault, but the way he handles it, obviously, it is a little bit more his fault. He has problems with not surrendering the play when he is pressured. We do see bits of him trying to run, scramble a little bit, extend the play, but he's still getting there. Deshaun Watson obviously much better at handling pressure, but he gets pressured more. The Texans aren't very good at protecting him. And this does work in the Vikings' favor because the Vikings, even though they're still missing Daniil Hunter, you have Yannick Ngakoue out there playing. He's hard to stop. He gets a lot of sacks. But the Texans are probably prepared for that. So the Vikings overall have not gotten the consistency they need in all phases of play. And I hope they prove me wrong on this because they do have the potential to be very good. They just haven't won any games yet.
All right, up next, the Colts and the Bears. Who's coming out on top in this one?
Bears, if they start Nick Foles, honestly, that's the long and short of it. Indy's defense is good. Xavier Rhodes, very good. The Vikings probably should have kept him. They would feast on Mitch Trubisky if they started. Pass rush, the secondary, all of it. Colts do well with protecting Phillip Rivers, and he's really good at reading defenses. The game will be good, but I don't think the Bears are going to lose this one if they do the one thing right that they got to do, which is start Nick Foles.
And finally, the Falcons are going to be at Lambeau Field this Sunday. Who do you go with, Green Bay or Atlanta?
My heart kind of hurts for the Falcons fans because they're right at the edge of winning a lot of these games, and then they just sort of give it up. Packers, always a safe bet, so I'm going with that. First instinct as well. Devontae Adams back at practice for Green Bay. Falcons obviously got Julio Jones back to practice today, but it just seems like nothing is going right for the Falcons this season. And it's hard for anybody, including the Falcons fans, to expect that to change, which I know is painful. They keep giving up leads, and we know they're desperate to win this week. And, of course, this will be a high-scoring game as well. But Aaron Rodgers does not turn the ball over like Matt Ryan does. Both are very good quarterbacks, but Rodgers finds ways to not turn the ball over. If he's got to throw it away or check down, whatever it is he needs to do, he just doesn't really give up a whole lot of turnovers. Controlling and protecting the football will be key, and Green Bay is very good at that.
All right, Norman, thank you so much for your time and your analysis today on all of this week's matchups. You can read even more about the picks in your CBS Local article. Katie Johnston for CBS Local Sports.